They certainly are, and it's Kelly Kulick and Leanne Barrette. Kelly Kulick will start the match. She's our number 5 qualifier. Just 26 years old. It's her 3rd year on tour. And yes, she has made the last 2 U.S. Open shows. This is the 3rd in a row. This lady wants a victory so bad.
But you can't win them all. Let's see what you're going to do for me. You and the pins, Kelly. You and the pins.
And it's Kelly in the pins. She's talking to herself a lot. All of our finalists will be mic'd, so you can get some insight into their thought process as they're up there. A tough leave here, the 3, 4, 6, 7, 10, as Kathy's now joining me in the booth. Kelly qualifying 5th with the 221 average, very high averages for a U.S. Open event.
You both qualifying, Jan. You saw how high those scores were?
She takes 3, and that's not the way she wanted to start this telecast.
Well, Jan, you both qualifying. You saw how high those scores were. Sometimes it's a little more nerve-wracking when it's a higher scoring pace versus a lower scoring pace. You have to strike a lot to keep up.
Leanne Barrette, 35 years of age. She renewed herself, so to speak, last year. She was the bowler of the year, voted on by the bowling writers. And another ugly leave, the 1, 2, 6, 10, a washout, we call it.
You can see Leanne has always put a lot of revolutions on the ball, but she gets the ball way right. Wasn't a very good opening shot. Little couple of nerves might be rattling in that stomach. This is the U.S. Open.
It is.
One she doesn't have. So it's a big day today. This is also the fresh condition. And the girls that like to hook the lane struggled a little bit more on the fresher pattern versus a B or C squad where a squad has already bowled on it and the pattern broke down. So that's something that these 2 girls are going to have in common, trying to adjust to the transition of the lanes.
So, Kathy, when it's a fresh pattern, so those that don't bowl a lot understand the back part of the lane, the back end near the pins, is pretty dry. There's no real oil on it until it starts to carry down.
Correct.
And that's why they get a hard hooking reaction.
Correct. And they try to compensate by rolling the ball a little earlier in the front, but then if you don't get it through the front part of the lane, it's disaster. So it's a very difficult transition period for girls that like to go away with the ball.
Okay, so Leanne gets a strike, and Kelly Kulick up now. So if we see a little inconsistency, we may expect to see the lanes even out a little bit as the day goes on.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Kelly's first appearance. It's only our 2nd telecast.
Much better shot. You can see this week the surface was a wood surface. Volume of oil was 30.48 milliliters. Length of oil 41 feet, which is a lot longer than what we've bowled on previously. And the type of oil is a new technology of oil prodigy. It's a combination of offense and defense, which we've discussed many times on our shows. So they combine the 2 together, and this is what they came up with.
Well, it was an interesting week, as you said, high scoring early on, a little bit lower later in the week as they got into the match play, and it's a combination of lane conditions and more pressure as you near the end of the U.S. Open, and she trips the 10. Big double for Kelly Kulick to give her a 10-pin lead.
Well, this young lady is extremely motivated. She wants that title. Beautiful shot.
Now, Leanne Barrette had bowled about 13 years before she won a major, when she finally won the Queens in 1999. And she's desperate for another major. Not desperate, but really wanting to grab another major title.
Now, I'm very impressed with that shot of Leanne's. That was a big move for her. She tightened up the lane, which is huge for her.
There's the averages, as we talked about, pretty high. Wendy McPherson.
225.
That's on the TV pair. That's a TV pair average, yes.
But all high.
All high. 218 the low, so they were pretty successful on lanes 17 and 18 here at Sunnybrook Lanes in Sterling Heights, Michigan. Both on a double now. Leanne Barrette tied with Kelly Kulick through 3 frames.
Much tighter. 2 beautiful shots. Now that's something you don't see very often from Leanne, playing a tighter line. It's still hooking the ball where you and I are concerned, but that's tight for Leanne. That's very impressive.
Well, she now has a 10-pin lead, but Kelly Kulick can step up and strike and make it all even again. It was interesting in talking to Kelly.
You and the pins.
Her and the pins.
Her and
is
the
that
pins.
is that the title was first,
You and
the
pins.
jacket was next, and the money was really a bonus.
The money is the bonus. It's the prestige.
Good shot, Kelly.
Yes, she called it.
baby.
Good shot, Kelly.
Good shot, kiddo. Good shot.
A little bit of self-talk. If you want some motivational instruction, just listen to Kelly Kulick. Actually, she does a lot of instructing, and she has learned a lot for her young age as to how, for bowling, for the professional ranks of bowling, as to how to calm herself down and make good shots.
For those younger players wanting to have a career in professional bowling, male or female, here is your role model of the younger generation.
You and the pins.
Take a good look and learn a few things.
She told us yesterday the fresh oil killed her. She seems to have adjusted.
Shoulder up. Oh, that's really bad.
Oh. Definitely didn't get that out on the lane, leaving the 6-9.
She definitely cut that one short. She didn't extend. You can see her arm. She bent her elbow at the point of release, which cut the ball short. Can't cut the ball short on the fresh because it's going to recover too hard in the back, which it did. It was not a very good shot. But once again, nerves.
She covers it up, and we're halfway through the first match. Leanne Barrette, though, has the lead right now by just 2 pins. We'll be back with more Women's U.S. Open action in just a moment. Women's U.S. Open Bowling Championship are being brought to you by the Women's International Bowling Congress, striving for 88 years to identify and fulfill the needs of women bowlers. Experience the power of Storm. Storm, the bowlers company. And by PWBA.com, your source for the latest PWBA news, information, merchandise, and more. We're back at the Women's U.S. Open, and Leanne Barrette has the lead by 2 pins. She'll be stepping up in the 5th frame. She can take that lead to 12 with a strike here. Leanne, a very deliberate player, takes quite a bit of time on the approach, setting herself, and has worked on a lot of things to relieve pressure on the hip.